Like if that was an actual Friends scene that they made, that would suck. There's almost a joke there. It got the names right. It got the location right. Can AI write a Friends episode? Let's find out. So I've got my laptop and I've got Chat GPT open, so I'm going to ask it to write a Friends scene. Write a scene from the TV show Friends. Here we go. Setting, Central Perk. Chandler, Joey and Ross are sitting on the couch while Rachel and Monica are behind the counter. Interesting, Monica's behind the counter, which never happens in a Friends episode because Monica doesn't work there. Chandler, so what do you guys think? Should we go see the new action movie tonight? I love how generic that is. Joey, absolutely, I love a good action flick. Ross, I don't know guys, I've got a lot of work to do tonight. I might just stay in and catch up on some reading. Monica interrupting. Hey Ross, can you do me a favor and take out the trash before you head back to your apartment? What trash? The trash in Central Perk. Ross, sure, no problem. Rachel to Monica. Did you get that new cookbook I told you about? Monica, yes, I can't wait to try out some of the recipes. Chandler, hey, did you guys hear about the new coffee shop that just opened down the street? Joey, no way, another coffee shop? How are they going to compete with Central Perk? Monica smiling, they won't. Ross, sarcastically, yeah, because Central Perk is clearly the most popular coffee shop in town. This is terrible. Rachel, rolling her eyes. Okay boys, let's not argue about coffee shops. We've got customers to serve. Who is working at Central Perk? Chandler to Rachel, you're right, we should be focusing on our work. Joey, nodding, yeah, I don't want to get fired from the best job I've ever had. Ross, laughing, speak for yourself, Joey, I actually have a career. So, are they all working at Central Perk apart from Ross? It seems like that's what it's written. Monica, interrupting again. Ross, can you take the trash out now? Ross, singing, yes Monica, I'm on it. The group continues their conversation as the camera pans out, showing the bustling coffee shop and the various customers enjoying their drinks and pastries. Okay, I have some notes. It got the names right. It got the location right. And it all somewhat grammatically makes sense, but it's making up so much about Friends that just doesn't exist. Also, it's not funny at all. So let's now try, if I type in, make the scene funnier. Make this scene funnier. Let's see what changes it comes up with. Okay, let's have a look. So what do you guys think? Do you want to go see a new action movie tonight? Joey, absolutely. Okay, Ross, leaning in. Is it the one where The Rock saves the world from aliens with his biceps? Chandler nodding. You know it. Interesting. The Rock wouldn't have been an action movie star back in the 90s, so it's writing it as if Friends was taking place today. Chandler nodding. You know it. Monica rolling his eyes. Boys and their action movies. I'm guessing that's supposed to be funny. Rachel smiling. Hey, at least they know what they want. Joey grinning. Speaking of what we like, how about some coffee? Monica sarcastically. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a coffee shop. Silly me. What? Chandler laughing. Monica always keeping us on our toes. Ross getting up from the couch. Alright, I should probably head back and get some work done. Joey winking. You mean you have a hot date with your dinosaur bones? There's almost a joke there. Like, I think if it was just like, Joey, you mean you have a hot date with your bone or something like that, that might have been better than a hot date with your dinosaur bones. There's no double entendre in that joke where there potentially could have been. Ross rolling his eyes. Very funny, Joey. Rachel smiling. Hey Ross, before you go, can you take out the trash? This AI just loves talking about taking out the trash. Ross sighing. Sure, Monica. Anything for my favourite sister. That's interesting. Point given for AI knowing that Ross and Monica are brother and sister. Point taken away because in this iteration of the scene, it's Rachel who has asked Ross to take out the trash, not Monica. Monica smiling. That's more like it. No clue what's going on there. Chandler whispering to Joey, I think she's got a favourite sister complex. None of this makes any sense now because of that weird line mess up. Joey nodding, yeah, but don't tell Ross, he's already got a complex about not being the favourite child. Interesting, there is that dynamic in the Geller's relationship, but Ross is the favourite child. So it's kind of weird that the AI has recognised that dynamic exists, but then got the two characters mixed up. Ross returns from taking out the trash and the group continue their conversation, laughing and joking as they work in the bustling coffee shop. Cut to later that day where Ross is on a date with a girl at the same coffee shop. He's trying to impress her with his knowledge of dinosaurs, but she's clearly not interested. Ross, and that's why the T-Rex was the apex predator of its time. Girl, yawning. That's great, Ross. I think I'm gonna go now. Ross dejected. Oh, okay, I'll walk you out. As they leave, the camera zooms in on the Central Perk sign where a line of customers are waiting to get in. The sign reads, Central Perk, where the coffee is hot and the jokes are even hotter. Oh my God. So what have we learned from this exercise? On a basic level, it understands what's going on and how to write a scene, sort of. But it's interesting that fundamental information about the show, it either doesn't know or gets wrong. So the fact that they all work at Central Perk, I mean, technically it could happen, but it wouldn't make any sense. And mixing up the Ross and Monica favorite child thing. And also, it's not very funny at all. Yeah, like if that was an actual Friends scene that they made, that would suck. Okay, now we've had a go with AI writing a Friends scene. Let's see how it writes a Friends storyline. So I'm just looking for a 1 or 2 line description of what would happen in this episode. Write 5 storylines for the TV show Friends. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, here are the 5, let's have a look. Interestingly, first off, the one where Joey gets a big break. It's understood on all of them the format of how the episodes are titled. So credit given where credit's due, that is exactly, you could imagine these titles as Friends episodes. The one where Joey gets a big break. Joey finally lands his big break when he's cast as the lead in a major Hollywood movie. As he prepares for the role of a lifetime, he struggles with the pressure and expectations that come with fame. Meanwhile, his friends rally around him to offer support and guidance, but their advice often clashes with Joey's own instincts. That could work. That's not terrible. Everything makes sense. Joey's an actor, it knows that. You could kind of see this. Friends rally around him to support, but his advice clashes with his own instincts. Sort of. I'm not quite sure how that would play out. Maybe they're advising him to be cautious of it. I don't know. And maybe his instincts of this is it. Not sure. It's interesting they reference the pressures and expectations that come with fame, because Joey never gets his big break in the show Friends. So that's something that's never explored, which actually would have been quite interesting to explore. Not bad. It's very Joey-centric, but I guess you'd have a B storyline going sort of in the episode as well, so it just wouldn't be the entire episode on Joey's big break, but it's believable. Number 2, the one where Rachel gets promoted. We've seen episodes like this. We've seen Rachel get promoted a couple of times, but let's see what the AI has come up with. Rachel is thrilled when she's promoted to a high-level position at Ralph Lauren. However, her new job comes with new challenges, including a cutthroat office culture and a demanding boss. As she tries to navigate these obstacles, she leans on her friends for support and realizes just how important they are to her. Okay. It's interesting how most of these are specifically about one of the characters, and this is very similar in that big important thing happens to one of the characters and then her friends or their friends rally around them. It's something we have seen, this promotion. We haven't seen a sort of a cutthroat office culture and a demanding boss, which seem very generic. Fashion, for example, The Devil Wears Prada. She leans on friends for support and realizes just how important they are. I think actually one of the things that makes Friends special is all of the friends already realize how important their friends are, and it's not something that they have to learn. It's not that's not the overarching theme of the show is, people finding out and realizing how important their friendships and their relationships are. I feel like it is innate within all of these characters about how these friends are more their family at this point in their lives than even their family are. So I couldn't imagine that happening about her realizing just how important they are. And she leans on her friends, relatively generic. Yeah, not great. Number 3, the one where Phoebe finds her birth parents. So this has already happened. Phoebe has met both her birth mother and her birth father in the show. And actually it's one of my few criticisms of Friends that both of those storylines don't really go anywhere. Phoebe meets both of them at points in the show, and then that's pretty much the end of those storylines. There's never any further exploration of those relationships, which is a shame because that would have been cool to see. Phoebe has always been curious about her birth parents, but her search for them has always been fruitless. However, when she finally tracks them down, she's shocked to learn that they're not quite what she expected. As she grapples with this new information, her friends help her come to terms with her complicated past. This sort of format is hilarious of big thing happens to one character, oh, the rest of her friends are there and help them with it. So, which really isn't quite how a lot of the Friends storylines go. They're much more often involving 2 of the characters or more. So yeah, really this episode suggestion, this storyline suggestion has already happened in various parts. Like, she's already met the birth parents and she has had moments where they weren't who she had expected them to be. She thought her birth father was the guy in the frame, and she didn't think that her birth mother would be the friend that her parents had when they were younger, who happened to be her birth mother. Let's look at number 4, the one where Chandler and Monica adopt a child. Obviously, this happens in the show, so this happens in the series finale. Let's see how different it is compared to what the AI has written. After struggling with fertility, that happens in the show, Chandler and Monica decide to adopt a child. That happens in the show. However, the process is far more difficult than they had anticipated. That happens in the show. And they face a number of setbacks and challenges along the way. That happens in the show. As they navigate this new chapter in their lives, their friends offer support and encouragement. Wow. The AI has just come up with something that already exists. Maybe that's a coincidence, or maybe it's just pulled a lot and didn't see it as a problem that it's already practically happened. Not much to go on there. At least it's used 2 characters instead of 1, but then it just threw in that classic, their friends offer support and encouragement at the end. So number 5, the one where Ross gets a new job. Ross lands a prestigious job at a top-tier university, but the job comes with a catch. He has to move across the country. As he prepares to leave his friends and start a new life in a new city, he grapples with the idea of leaving his old friends behind. Meanwhile, his friends try to convince him to stay, but ultimately support his decision to pursue his dreams. Change Ross for Rachel, and prestigious job at top-tier university for prestigious job at top-tier fashion firm, and you basically have what happens to Rachel at the end of the show. 4 of the 5 have pretty much already happened in the show, and so maybe that's me not being specific enough in my question, and I should have asked, write 5 potential storylines that hasn't happened in the TV show Friends. But yeah, it's pulling just a lot of the content that we've seen already. However, it does show an understanding of the characters, their relationships to each other, and their professions. So that was really interesting. Well, there you have it. That's what happens when you ask AI to write some Friends things. It did okay. It didn't do terribly, but in that classic stage of where we are with AI now, it understood what I was asking for, but it wasn't very creative in its replies. That was really interesting though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want me to ask AI anything else about Friends, leave a comment down below and perhaps I'll make another video where I ask it more Friends related stuff. Thanks again for watching, and if you're a Friends fan, feel free to subscribe to the original Huggsy, this channel, because it's nothing but Friends content, so it's going to be a good one to be subscribed to. Thanks again, and goodbye for now.